Let's see if it is. This is attempt 3 to see if it's gonna work or not. Hang on, still not quite seeing it popping up. Yeah, there we go. Now we're functioning. So I went ahead and updated the entire team there. And yes, this horrible jellyfish, except it's land with teeth. Not really jelly, it's more like a blob monster with eyes and everything everywhere. It's pretty cool looking. Not sure how you'd really step on it, but, you know, pretty neat. Guy actually reminds me of It Stares Back, if anyone remembers that one. That's actually been coming up with new stuff. It's pretty cool. I mean, honestly, this whole thing kind of looks like if Barney had way too much cheese before going to bed. But okay. Yes, self-sacrifice. All well and good. You're already dead. Very easy to do the self-sacrifice when you're already a friggin' corpse, man. Okay. I mean, I guess it's in character, it just seems kind of unnecessary. He's gonna become Artorias. Alright, so allegedly last fight, I'm kind of expecting a gauntlet, to be honest. Beat the Mao. I don't want to, Mao. Okay. Six, eight. Okay, so yeah, this is just transporting between those two. It's a little back route. Alright, 1500 health. It's actually hilarious because for all of his high stats, he's 20 levels lower than our main character. And his stats are... Hell, he's got 500 less attack than Kyria does right now. I think we might have overdone it. See, it does small area chance of inflicting poison blind sleep. Also steals buffs. Ooh, okay, that's pretty nuts. Reduces HP of everything to 1. Yeah, that one needs MP. This one he can just do. All right, so we definitely need to have Smelter Blue here. Clears and spells all buffs on allied unit and instantly kills them. Character then gains everything. Okay. Well, that's horrific. Okay. I'm gonna put her here because she's got that auto revive thing going on. I am expecting to lose a good number of units here, so we'll have him here for backup revives. We'll see about Felix. I think I want to save Felix for now. Get Reesman in here for range support, which actually made him into a ranged character now. Soft Paw for that sweet, sweet damage, and then we'll get Smelter Blue. Alright. Oh, nice. We got an actual end boss music going on. Although we already got spoiled that if we actually do want to beat the thing, we do have the option to beat it a different way. By the way, for this one I decided to go dual wield on her, simply because the shield won't actually help much against these things. It's all dark stuff anyway, and the shield doesn't help against that. Oh yeah, he sacrifices his own unit. Okay, I thought that was on somebody else. Although, if you do, you know what? If you do this right, You should be able to come in and just immediately hit him with the like cleansing strike or something like that. Just absolutely ruin his day. What's he immune to? He's surprisingly not immune to cripple. How does that work? Surely in New Game Plus that won't be the case. Like, yeah, they're not doing very much, and we're horribly overleveled, so this should be just fine. Of course, you know, famous last words. Kind of undecided on this map. Like, it looks a little bit like somebody went and they dredged at the bottom of the ocean, then kind of just dumped a bunch of acid on top of it, and then dropped a bunch of acid on top of that, and then just kind of drew what came to mind. Oh, you know what I just noticed too? I was joking about Cleansing Blade, but oh, why doesn't she have that? Weird. I thought she had all the chivalry stuff. Alright, that only does 72. Holy Beam just does that. Wrathful does nothing. Holy Burst would almost be enough to take them out. But okay, heavy hit it is. Okay, that's kind of nonsense, but alright. Whatever works. So, everyone else is just going to work on the ads for now. So his crit rate is very high, but he's not necessarily ultra amazing at it. Like, he doesn't have any crit boosting buffs or anything. Like, her overall damage was lower, but she's doing a lot of damage there. Haven't seen this fight yet. Going to bow out. Plan to be this weekend. Watch later. Okay. Sounds like a plan. I hope everything's going well over there. Yeah, I thought you beat it already. Based off what you said, because you were mentioning about New Game Plus. There we go. Finish him off. But yeah, we just started because I kept having a bunch of technical issues. Alright, that'll have to be our first use of Smelter. And all things considered, I don't think the Soul Blade is really useful here. Yeah, might as well just have her attack. Excellent. Fortunately, these barrages are really dang fast. Alright, so he's asleep. I need to sacrifice her turn to get him up so that he can get everybody else back into decent shape. Definitely feel like at this point the heal nuke has dropped off in its usefulness, but you know, in these kind of cases. In this case, the mass debuff removal definitely helps. Oh, they can just spawn new people. Okay. Yeah, for all their fancy music here, I don't think this is actually the last fight. There's no way. Opponent, throw a dagger, chance of inflicting bleed. Can you be hit by bleed? Are you serious? You can be hit by bleed? Oh, buddy. That's unfortunate for you. I mean, I guess she's getting a bunch of really good debuffs off the Soul Blade, or whatever the hell it's called. Soul Sucker, Soul Eater. Is it the Soul Eater? I gotta check now. Yeah, the Soul Eater. I wonder if that's meant to be a Legend of Dragoon reference, or if it's just a cool name. Yeah, this is definitely not the ideal party for this. Alright, we need some Panacea going. We'll get him revived next round. I would say that in her case it isn't worth it, you know, with everything, but it's just boosting her stats so much. If I can get bleed on this guy. If it bleeds, we can kill it. Yeah, I can't believe that. I can't believe this thing actually can be affected by bleed. That has to be an oversight. And by slow as well. And it can be put to sleep. Alright, bring back Smelter Blue over there. Like I was saying earlier, fully expecting to see a decent amount of casualties off this. Burst is 49. How on earth that manages to be like that, I don't know. Now that I think about it, yeah, its turn's not coming up for a while. We set up a one-for-all right here. Let's see. Now, Reeves may take a shot, she takes some swings. Softbot takes a shot, she takes some swings. Yeah, there we go. Rude. Every part of that was rude. Alright, that's fine. We can still get her back in it. Her turn's coming up pretty soon here. Alright, and I'm back. So yeah, pretty much everybody has Critical Mirage. So that should be doing some good stuff. And take that guaranteed 50. Didn't realize he had thorns up though. Alright, she can't quite move. Nothing really to do about that. Might as well just get Regina up. Get another attack out later. Alright. Smelter Blue back up over here. Maybe somebody will target him by mistake. Couldn't really tell you why on earth they're just attacking everything. They're kind of attacking their own people. What's up?
It's got eyes.
Yeah, it's got eyes, you're right. It's kind of scary looking, huh? Yeah, you think so? Posto, Sinistera or whatever their name was. That was just an interesting name on there. Alright, let's see. Yeah, I see it. Is it? It's hungry? Yeah? What about you? Are you eating your eggies?
Yeah.
Yeah, you hungry little lady? Yeah. Everyone got gift. Alright, just about there. Yeah, you see a triangle? Alrighty. We get some interesting commentary for the ending here. Yeah, this is a cool cool fight here. I like it. And yeah, there's a reason I didn't bring in all of the best units here, so definitely expecting some different stuff to happen. Let me steal from him. Figured it was worth a shot. Alright, so as soon as green guy gets to move again, we can maybe do some more stuff there. Should just be one more attack from you. And got the crit. Then Carrie gets a turn and we're done here. Come on. counter slow is putting in so much work here. Excellent. Okay. And demon leather, apparently? Okay, so only 2 injuries out of that. What do you mean we couldn't obtain it? Oh, he has to be the one to do it, doesn't he? Oh. Well, in that case, yeah, then I couldn't do it because he's already dead. Well, something to bear in mind for the second run, I suppose. Oh, please, he's been foreshadowing this for a while. Well done. I mean, hopefully he at least knows whether that'll work.
Daddy, look. Shells.
Yeah? I don't think that thing has crackers. Okay, so... I mean, these guys have taken stabbings constantly. Surely they can just fix that. So there we go, there's the ending. Although, we're gonna do that again, because... Well, A, that was incredibly short, and B, the, as far as the whole true ending type situation, gotta see what happens with that. Alright, so she became a demigod, basically. I was about to say, nothing she should be... Doesn't seem like she should be asking there. So they can teleport everywhere, and Bizarro survived, so he's there.
Daddy, look. It's yellow.
It is yellow. You got a cool yellow dinosaur, huh?
Orange. It's got orange.
Yep, but where's your breakfast? Well, gee, you think? Like, oh, would you like to just do a whole lifelong commitment? I don't know if that's asking too much. he's gonna be all depressed and all that. I mean, Dumbledore there survived, so there's that. Oh, so she's with the Yates now? I mean, fair enough. I mean, you basically become a frickin' demigod. I don't know. Seems like a pretty sweet deal. It's like, oh man, your fate's terrible. You became one of these demigod things. Like, yeah, so you want to become one too? I mean, basically their only requirement is that they sit there and just kind of put up with feeling kind of crappy from the from the whole ceiling thing. So, I mean, I don't know why they say that they have all of these duties to go do, because they're actively not allowed to interfere with anything. So they can just do whatever the hell they want. See, like, I don't think they should have gone with the stabbing and bleeding out scene. It's all well and good, but I mean, if they just got straight up vaporized or something like that, I could understand. But in this case, they've shown them getting hit with far, far worse, and getting chucked in lava and getting revived just fine. So I don't know. Hmm. Okay, good use of the assets here, gotta say. Looked like she had the Eternius there. Looked like, well, I mean, she had the whole guard and all shield bash animation. And he was doing his whole getting hit animation. Oh, so she's gonna start a rebellion against her now? Alright. Alright, cool. See, I like that ending. That's pretty cool. It's a cool little touch there. Though, that being said, I'm not really sure... You know, I should probably just Google that real quick.
John, you did it.
Well, thank you, kiddo. Yeah.
I wish it
Aww.
still.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, you can. Alright, new outfit has been unlocked. Yeah, actually cool. You get to save. Alright, so yeah, we can just redo the fight. It does the Night of Lotus thing. Now, do the injuries carry over? Yes, the injuries do carry over. And funny little note, by the way. After the whole assassin thing, this is why so many people have critical mirage right now. Basically, everyone has that unlocked. Except, leaving critical rebirth on her feels fitting for a RuneScape character. Yeah, it's a... Well, this one's a dime. Yeah. Dime got? Okay. Okay, apparently you're supposed to poach him. I mean, I guess that figures... Alright, we'll do that. Now that I think about it, that sniper shot thing, I keep overlooking it. But if I had that on Kyria here, like 3.8, I think that's about the highest damage we've gotten on anyone so far. Like with her? Like sure, she's got the whole bow thing going on. But if I were to give her something that gives something with a bit more punch, you know? Like, when she's good as she is, though. For her, though. What you doing? Yeah, you reading Daddy's shirt? Yeah. Alright, we'll get a few battle clothes made. Them suckers are pretty good. Get some Phoenix bands made. Don't climb that. Don't climb it. Alright, what's the helmet do that nothing else does? Seems to make you immune to a lot of debuffs. That's pretty solid. Hi. So yeah, we'll throw a few battle claws around here. Seems like a solid idea. Give this fight one more go. So apparently there's one more step in which you can get some sort of item from all those obelisk clue things. I think he said it was like a scythe or something like that, which I haven't really been using scythes, so oh well. Now if we give her the enhancer, it does reduce a lot of stats a lot, but is that something we want to do? Because it would give her a second attack still. Nah, alright. So we need Troy in here, we need... We want Boone. Kara did a pretty good job. Let me make sure that they all have collect bounty. Because supposedly both of them actually work on this guy. See if Den can maybe take out a few of these. By the way, if you're wondering why I didn't go and put assassin abilities on Fury, whatever, I'm thinking it makes more sense just to have her have a heavy hit available. Fine. I have to say those stat numbers are misleading, though. Because truth be told, even with those stat numbers, somebody would still be doing much different numbers. So they're definitely not an accurate representation there. Of course, this time I don't have a heal nuke available, so that probably would have been a good idea to bring along. Oh, he can... Oh, never mind then. He can get poison bleeded. Alright, so I'm gonna have her drop some traps around just in case. go. Clean that up a little bit. And a really high chance to crit. There we go. Yeah, by the way, he's at 74%. That's the reason I have him with that build. Excellent. Yeah, these with these daggers, this guy's kind of gonna go down like nothing. Still a really cool fight. The way that it causes the camera to jump around all over the place makes it feel a lot more hectic than it probably is. The amount of weird debuffs going on is pretty cool. And you know what? I was wondering for a while what the deal was with Anadine having a katana in the little intro scene there, considering that there didn't seem to be one in the entire game, and then it turns out, yeah, this guy's got one, or rather the last craftable sword is one. We're just gonna bury her up. Yeah, that had a chance to still be useful. On a bit of a side effect, or not a bit of a side effect, on a bit of a side note, which is kind of funny because side effects, I never really realized the side effects actually rolls, when it's rolling its damage, it's actually per debuff it's given. Which is funny, because then that can be combined in potentially really weird ways, because you get some of the ones that just put mass debuffs all over the map, combine it with the one that gives you a chance to slow. Suddenly you're getting like 20 extra damage per debuff, which is pretty insane. So at this point, yeah, I could go up and take a swing at him, but if both debuffs hit, then we're kind of screwed on that front. Because then he would just bleed out before we get anything to do. What you doing, kiddo? No, don't stand on that. No.
Look, I got it right up.
Alright, so burst will be perfect here. Get him down to 231. I'll just get soft paws right in the back here. Okay, do we need to use bounty on him? Let's try to use a corrosive bomb, maybe that'll do something? Alright, we'll see if maybe Denton can do something then. Alright. What the hell? Oh, well that's... Man. Okay, so here's what you're supposed to do. Apparently you're supposed to use collect pelt on these things. Not the boss. Well, I mean, I would not have figured that out, I'll be honest. I mean, now that I know what to do, okay, fine, easy enough. So I'll get him out of the way. Go this way. Take a couple shots on that, use collect pelt on it. And then we can be down here. That was a little bit risky. That should be fine still. I'm kind of curious though, if other stuff will work, if Shakedown will work. Alright, so on soft pause next turn. Should be all good. come on! So, what now then? Really? We're just screwed? Hang on, does he have a move that lets him spawn more tentacles? No, damage taken is reduced for every live ally in the field. Okay, fair enough. No, okay. Alright, let's try that again. Yeah, not happy with how that was handled. Alright, so now that we know what to do, it's gonna be a lot easier. Yeah, you know, with everything else, I really would have expected that, like, considering how this worked with the how it worked with how you finish the ending and all that, I really would have expected more of the Night of Lotus treatment, where you get like a full gauntlet and everything. But yeah, I guess it's just 1 or 2 fights. Because from what I'm reading here, it's 1 fight after this if you do this this other thing. I'm just not glad about the fact that if you get those things to low health, they basically self-destruct instead of getting poached. It's like it kind of feels like it's RNGing your good ending. But anyway, by far the easiest way to handle all this is just going to be to do the same thing as last time, just go in and have her completely wipe all these mobs off the map. Seeing as I can, I guess we might as well see if Collect Health will actually work on that. Maybe getting some good off these guys. Slightly too high health for that. Because it specifically mentions little tentacle worm things. I'm just reducing everything's health a tiny bit with that. And hi there, Jacobo. Yeah, this is the 3rd time on this one. The first time got through the boss just fine, and then found out that, yeah, well, at first I misunderstood it as you need to have Rainer in the party. So yeah, he's currently a bit dead, so that wouldn't have been possible. Then misunderstood it as you need to use Poach on the boss, and then apparently these random worm. Like, I never would have figured these worms are part of the boss himself. So I kind of wish they would have handled the explanation there a little bit better, but oh well. Anyway, this should put him within range. Unless they randomly mid-turn self-destruct again. It's just the fact that they get self-destruct mode, the fact that they're not like mentioned as like Maw's tentacle or something. I don't know. I feel like it could have been handled better. There, Energy Fragment. From here, it's simple enough. We just beat the hell out of him until he stops existing. Man. Bleed is just so strong on him. Yeah, same here. I was really confused as to what the hell is going on. I was also kind of confused why there were no katanas in the game, but yeah, apparently Eternius happens. Interestingly, also, apparently Opportunistic Bullets still does its thing, still gladly does its thing even if he got rid of his debuffs. Maybe it doesn't count until the next turn or something. Actually, it might just be his defense being down. But yeah, so I want to do this second fight, and then I want to find out what this new game plus consists of, because I've been eyeballing that button since first picking up this game. So it should hit harder with debuffs on. No, yeah, I know. I mean, okay, so I was misunderstanding it because before that same shot was doing 30, and then I forgot about his whole getting defense for every unit that's alive on the map thing. Because the first time through, we literally just smashed through his friggin' hyper armor there. Man, Poison and Bleed just wrecks him so hard. I seriously don't know why he's not immune to Poison and Bleed. That really feels like an oversight. Like, how do you even make a poison that kills an, like, Eldritch Abomination looking thing? What's up, Fido? Oh, I'm finishing up a game. What are you doing? I'm just gonna go ahead and assassinate a god. There we go. So it really gets to it too. Oh yeah, I know. I put counter slow on Kyrie there. Wrecked faces like nobody's business. Okay, so we shoved it in a Pokeball. Now what? Load Stonehenge. I mean, I'm really glad that this rando side quest is actually part of getting the good ending. Appreciate little detail. I just wish there would have been more of a, I don't know. I wish there would have been more of a build-up. Kind of felt like it was just random map, and boss. Okay. Maybe it's a alien can't handle New World organisms, something like that. Okay, I guess we're going to War of the Worlds, and apparently now we've become Golden Sun. This looks exactly, well, not exactly, but this is always how I kind of interpreted Soul Sanctum. It's their bullet hole. Okay. What you doing? It's Primus. He's a Force Ghost. Yeah, no, she likes hanging out in the mornings. He's over here trying to bum some more animal crackers. Oh, sweet! So you get like a multi-boss fight against all of them. She says to all the characters that won't be participating. Alright. So I have a feeling we're gonna need the heal nuke. Escape rooms feels like they might be pretty useful to bring along here. Unfortunately, there's no way to know for sure because, well... First of all, is his stuff the same way? Okay, kiddo. Okay. But that's not how you ask. How do you ask for animal crackers? You forgot the please.
Please?
Okie dokie. I think I can help then. Be right back. Alrighty, and back. So, alright, we're gonna need a reviver. Kinda want to bring Felix, especially considering this looks so much like his place, but... let's see, we get backup lead right here. No question about bringing Softbosh, he's been the MVP for sure. Denton? And... Probably Deneb wouldn't be a bad choice, actually. See, like, I feel like this would have been a really cool moment to just say, like, you can bring everyone with you. Like, you just get to the very end, and they're like, just deploy 15 units. They've got infinite dudes, you've got infinite dudes, just bring it all down there. Though, to be fair, I've only ever seen that work once. And even then, it was only barely. And because, of course, I'm referring to XCOM 2 on that one. Alright, Barry, you're up. Have you played XCOM 2? And especially if you do War of the Chosen? Because they had that, kind of. I mean, they let you bring more units along in the final missions. Not to mention it was a multi-parter. Not to mention, at the very end, they literally had infinite enemies, and you basically just had this massive gauntlet where you're fighting, like, boss enemies and god enemies, and friggin' if you didn't beat the chosen bosses on the way, they show up too, and they just like spawn in, 5 or 6 units per turn. It's just this absolutely insane situation there. Right, so they can have whatever abilities they want. We're just gonna bum rush this dude. Seems like too much going on. Oh, it is insane. Like, I have to say it was handled pretty well, though. I mean, like a lot of things... so, base game XCOM 2, a lot of things were handled kind of weird, but there was a very big emphasis on getting absurd utility out of a single turn. So, like, you had a situation where, like, you had 20 enemies on the screen, and then you came in with one guy, and, like, let's say you had one guy come in and fired a bunch of grenades all over the place, did some AoE damage all over the place. You had your sniper come in with his, like, flaming pistol rounds and had him use free-for-all on it. So basically they just take one free pistol shot at every enemy they can see, and then you get your ranger coming in, free blade attack as long as they get a kill, and then they just use Reaper on the entire map, and like suddenly you're just going and cleaning up like nobody's business. It works better than it seems. It's really dang cool. Alright, we're gonna corrosive bomb this guy. Interesting that slow actually works with that. Yeah, no, it's amazing. Like I was saying, this is, I would say, my second... See, that health was all well and good, but he's seriously losing 500 health per round with Poison Bleed. Alright, that didn't really seem a little bit iffy to someone. Alright. I think we'll... how much does total shield cost? Alright, we'll re-bleed. And then... yeah, no need for a heal just yet. Yeah, total shield. But yeah, and honestly, the definitive version of that one right now is War of the Chosen. Like, it's just, as far as SRPGs go, in my mind, it's like this. Well, in the recent decade, that is. Like, I hold Tactics Ogre really well up there, but as far as just the amount of features and actual gameplay stuff going on, this is an absolute refinement of the FFT formula, as far as I see it. And then with XCOM 2, it's just a mix of so many interesting things. It's hard to know where to even put it. I mean, you basically still have your squad building thing, but they're all... you still have all of your individual perks on all your units. You have customization for absolutely everybody. You have relationships between your units. You have side missions that can actually result in a bunch of different scenarios. You've got difficulty options and all that. You've got... by difficulty options, I mean like different game modes and things like that. You've got stalking bosses that'll show up. You've got... that was a bummer, but we can just go ahead and freaking revive them right away, so no problem. So you agree, biggest pull is the class customization, that's what kept me away from XCOM. Yeah, X2 is a completely different beast. And actually, I picked up Chimera Squad also while it was on sale. So Chimera Squad is also like a little spin-off of X2 that's coming out pretty soon. Seemed like they were experimenting with even more Tactics Ogre kind of stuff. Honestly, the only downside with X2, well, a lot of its downsides actually end up getting fixed in War of the Chosen, and especially the Long War mod, which was a little bit iffy in base XCOM 2. They made a Long War of the Chosen. Just, it works so much better. But, yeah. Can't sing its praises enough, though. Like, that mess was made with love and a budget, and that almost never happens. It's like, this one was made with love and kind of a limited budget. I would say the only other time I can think of that something was made with that much love and budget would have been that Tactics Ogre remake, which is, like, it's weird that it ever even got made. Because by all rights, it probably shouldn't have been. just go get this one finished up. Irony, the dual wielder got dual wielded. Oh, wow. Okay, they self-destruct across the entire map. Good to know. But yeah, if you're looking at XCOM 2, just yeah, War of the Chosen for sure. Even if you haven't played base game XCOM 2, honestly, it's for the best. It's like base XCOM 2 was a little bit limited in terms of what was going on, and then yeah, War of the Chosen comes in and it's like, would you like all the features? Like, would you like stuff no one even asked for? Yeah, well, we got it for you. Just kind of casually showing up to drop some features off for you. Did you ask for photo mode and everything? No? Well, here it is anyway. It's like, did you ask for all these different classes all of a sudden, and new races all of a sudden, and new customizations all of a sudden? Like, did you ask for friggin' whole background perk system for your entire organization and all that? Like, customization of all your different options and everything? You got different faction systems suddenly in place. Just, I know I'm not explaining it very well, but it's just good. It's really good. Let's just put it that way. I'm sure we're gonna take some losses here soon. Alright, Mirage is pretty dandy. Thank you 70% for not rolling. And he's almost down. I mean, I've been thinking about doing an X2 run for a while, but we're gonna start with Chimera Squad there, and then do X2 at some point. Because I've been talking about doing it for a long time and just never have. Nice. Alright, and that should actually be the fight then. That'd be really cool if I could double cast rocks. I know it's a weird request, but I want to double cast rocks, dang it. And once again, Denton coming in to assassinate a god. And we're done here. Double rock. Yeah, there needs to be double rock as a skill for the peddler. Nice. You hit it with that sword that does no damage. Interestingly, for this one, she used she actually used her weapon. For the other one, she used her secondary weapon. I wonder if it just checks which one they're using. They got their portrait back. I mean, luckily she doesn't really need the powers as much now. She's already crazy OP just from her gear. Wait, how are they heading home? They have no way to get home. They couldn't send the other guy back. He's stuck here forever, so how did they get home? Yeah, you want to watch your Frozens? Okay, tell you what, can we wait just a moment? Yeah. Okay, thank you. You want to go play for just a minute and then we'll turn it on? Okay, thank you. It is done! Bells are still broken. But, yeah. Stuff went alright, I guess. I mean, technically speaking, if that thing was all that was keeping them alive. Also, by the way, very dramatic music for this cutscene. You'd think that they would just kind of crumble into dust right now, but oh well. And again, I ask, what is their actual job? Because they're not allowed to interfere with anything. They keep talking about all this work they have to do, but there's no work that they actually do. Okay, so there we go. She has to design a government. Okay, fine. And the only guy that knew how government systems work is gone. And I guess another weird question here, what happens to Amdine? Like, is she still... They kind of dropped that whole she's got demonic possession situation. Like, I think they allegedly cured it a while ago, but then they said it would come back. I'm not sure. But you know what? I like how this story went. It's like, I like how they kind of... Well, I feel like they maybe could have spiced things up a little bit more early on, just to kind of let you know that there's going to be more happening. Because they do kind of start it off as like, oh, we're going to have a pretty standard plot, and then they change their minds entirely. Okay, so she wanted to assassinate him. Fair enough. Yeah, you counting the numbers on the remote? Yeah? How many numbers did you find? I mean, they're the only ones... Well, I mean, they've technically got authority, so... They haven't been terrible. They're the only ones that haven't sucked, so do that. Yeah, Anadine would not like elections in the future. Where somebody coming in their, like, 60s or whatever is considered too young. See, now they cured but couldn't revert the changes? Ah, okay, gotcha. Interesting custom portrait that you got for this one scene here. I appreciate the kind of dust going through the god rays there. Alright, so are Hinem and Anadine getting together in this timeline? Low power mic. Oh, hush you. Okay, so he's going to go unlock immortality, and then presumably he goes off and turns into Nibith, and then he goes and hangs out in Tactics Ogre for a while. Alright. And thank you to all these fine people for making this awesome thing. Gotta say, so overall, I've been kind of blown away with this game, because, again, first impression upon first seeing it way back when, I was like, oh, you know, this is going to be copying a couple things. I heard it was just like a love letter to the series, and I'm thinking, like, okay, you know, it just retread some of that ground, and, you know, it's a little nostalgia thing. Maybe they're just going for those nostalgia bucks, and God, no. This thing is amazing. Like, I'm legitimately blown away by how well this plays. I mean, okay, story, writing, all of that, it's alright. I mean, I'm not going to say it's going and, you know, making George R. R. Martin hang up his hat or anything, but it's alright. Like, for the genre, it's par for the course, and I think it's pretty good. Let's see. So now what I want to see is, what does New Game Plus look like? Oh! Oh my. You get to choose what you carry over. Okay, I'm liking this. Like, just the fact... Like, okay, I mean, the story wasn't bad. It's alright. It's, you know, it does the job. But the systems in place, like the little randomizations all over the place, the kinds of stuff that the AI comes out with, the kinds of just insane stuff you can do, you know? It's like the amount of, the way that all the difficulty options are handled, just how many options you have, how many different mixes and matches there are. Like, I never even got a bunch of the classes. I've been going and doing the hell out of this game, and hell, never ended up getting War Mage, never ended up getting a Sorcerer, never ended up using a Lich. Like, I'm sure there's some that I'm missing too. It's just, like, it's awesome. The fact that I managed to get... This is the first time I've legitimately seen in the base game of one of these games where you get to the end and stuff hasn't turned into a complete clustercluck of just whoever nukes the other first. Like, just like going back to all of them, alright? Like, FFT, just once you hit Orlando, like, at that point it was just like, nuke first or nothing. It's just like, big AoEs, everything else. Most of the old strategies didn't work quite as well. So, it was just a lot of... It got a little bit sandbaggy and everything else. I mean, that's a pretty general consensus on that one. Amazing game, still, like, at the end, balance completely fell apart. Tactics Ogre had the same problem. In the original, it kind of functioned pretty similar to FFT, but again, it was kind of simplistic at the time. In the PSP remake, they did a better job of holding a balance on longer, but then they also had that issue of they kind of had too many things that could potentially rank up and upgrade and everything else, and you wound up with rocket launcher longbows. But anyway, that was its own thing there. So, okay. So then, what else? What else? So yeah, going like FFTA, very fun up until the very end. Very end again, just turns into nuking. A2, I mean, I'd say A2 held up pretty darn well, which I feel like this one actually does copy A2 in a lot of ways. But anyway, let's see. Like the first run, second run on New Game Plus was mind fun. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. So we're not starting this right now. I just wanted to see what New Game Plus does. So what we're gonna do is when the DLC comes out, we're gonna go and we're gonna, you know, give it a second run. We're gonna go do everything, and we're turning all the difficulty sliders all the way up and just seeing what comes out of that, because that should be insane. Okay, so what can you get? AP and classes, yeah, that I'd like to keep. Enemy abilities, yeah, we'll let them keep their stuff. Recruits, all non-starter recruits will carry over and be available from the very start. Yes, hopefully they don't keep their injuries. All previous components will carry over. Yeah, I like that. Badges, sure. No real sense in locking those away. Item tiers, all items will carry over their current crafted levels. Sure. Money, levels, all units will keep their current level. No, they'll be put down to 1, which is pretty good. Enemy levels, no. Gear, all previous gear will carry over. Oh, I see. Okay, this is your unlocked items. Okay, so yeah, gear's gone, enemy gear's gone. Yeah, this feels like a good recommended start. Okay, so random numbers weighted. Defaults are weighted. I mean, I kind of want to try this, to be honest, and given the difficulty, it would be nice, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see once we get there. It's doing the same thing for the DLC. I'll do it then in the background. Well, I appreciate it, because yeah, I feel like it's probably the best way to experience it there. Okay, level scaling, no maximum. Sounds good. So basically amazing there. Plus 50% raw stat scaling. It's probably not a good idea to use this. Encounters won't be properly balanced. Yeah, this can't possibly go wrong. Added enemies. Some maps will have extra enemies, usually one or two more. In some counters, one or more enemies will be replaced by a special version. It's a difficult and more interesting way to raise the difficulty than simply increasing enemy stats. You know, actually, yeah, I'm kind of tempted to say, well, we'll see. Okay, fill every equipment slot, passives and counters. More revives, have many items, and we'll use those items. I kind of want to say we leave the stats as they are, because honestly, stat scaling kind of sucks. Like, I think once we get going, we're going to leave it on permadeath. Random numbers, we're going to leave it on default. Or do we want to test out the weighted system? Because, I mean, I feel if we're doing the weighted system, we can try the 50% stats. You can do plus 10 easily, but never tried permadeath. Yeah, I mean, permadeath is what I was doing this time. Oh, and it's actually negative 5% per injury, and then they're just permadeath at 5. It's an interesting system, I like it. It is kind of weird sometimes when you get one guy that just rolls the same stat over and over. Suddenly they just have 0 attack, because apparently their arm's been ripped off or something. So yeah, I think once the DLC hits, we'll go for something like this. Yeah, permadeath is interesting, because, okay, so, interesting thing about that, if you end up just unlocking the advanced classes, you can keep recruiting people into those advanced classes and just bringing them in at a high level, and you can wind up with a bunch of really good abilities right off the bat. Like, it seems like you'd have to go and grind for new classes, but this one did it. Of all the games in this genre, it's been a pretty regular problem that you get rookies and they suck. Like, the FFT method, the FFTA method was you get a unit, they've just got like a basic set of skills and almost nothing else. And then you just got to spend time grinding them out. The Tactics Ogre method was you either recruit somebody from the field, or you end up getting a recruit that matches your level, but is otherwise terrible for their skills, and again has to be grinded up. And then if you recruit somebody from the field, for some dumb reason they only know their top 4 skills, which is super weird because of the way that the generation worked in that one. They usually end up having multiple weapon skills. So in reality, it was like 3 actual skills, because of why on earth anybody would train like daggers and axes up to rank 4 at the same time is anyone's guess. But anywho, but anyways, yeah. If you ever wondered about that, it's because again, its gear generation is based off of equipped skills, and it was just easier for them to leave those on in the top slots. So it'll just basically randomly pick one of them. There's probably an axe with a dagger on top. Like, I mean, maybe just duct tape a dagger to the other end of it because they wanted that back spike. Though, like, we'll discuss it more on the level 1 run, but it's interesting how many mechanics they shoved in that they really didn't need to on that one. Like, just the fact that you get defensive bonuses against matching weapon skills, which is why for the level 1 run I have them running around like friggin' 10 weapon skills for the start of it. But anyway, so yeah, we'll be doing that soon. But like I was saying, this one pulled it off in terms of the unit generation. If you get a recruit, usually they're going to be able to unlock the first half of their skills in multiple classes. So more or less, the one that you hire them as is going to be the best one for them to it's going to be the one that you see what the stats do. Like, that's the thing they've been trained in since always. It's like you want someone with a ton of attack, you get a Reaver, and then you just turn them into something else, and then like it'll unlock everything that they need to have that class. I think I only saw one exception, in which it was just a few numbers off, which I'm sure that was just some weird range that didn't quite land right. But yeah, it was the only one that I've seen that I could consistently go back to the store, get new recruits, and then just go right back into it. So anyway, absolutely love this game. Couldn't recommend it enough. And yeah, when the DLC hits, we'll be doing more of this. So thank you guys for stopping by, and yeah, thank you for recommending this thing. It's an absolute blast. Won't play it? Well, that's your problem, Annihilator. The Japanese made a hashtag for posting AC pics because they're depressed for the virus. What? But yeah, no Annihilator. This is like, you know what? So, Annihilator, you know what this is? It's like, imagine if somebody took Armored Core, right? And then they remade, like, let's say, all of 1st and 3rd gen, and then put it on a matching engine, and then randomly generated all of it in a way that felt legit every time. That's basically what this is for, like, FFT and Tactics Ogre. Like, they found a way to randomly generate it, but also make it legit, and make it all work. And, by the way, so Annihilator, you might like Front Mission then. We'll be, I think we'll start that off with a one-off and just kind of see how that goes. And I'm hoping that Armored Core gets something like this someday. I mean, maybe it's an indie project that we need, who knows. Super Robot Wars? No, we're the Front Mission 3. Super Robot Wars is pretty fun, though. We did that a couple of years ago. Ended up running into some technical issues, and then some with the ROM was corrupted, I think. Anywho, so I gotta get going. So you guys have an awesome one. Thank you for stopping by. And yeah, we'll be doing more stuff soon. But that's the only thing I can go for Tactics Mech. Seriously, have you never played Front Mission 3? It's amazing. It's so good. Like, it even stops and does all their little gunfights in slow-mo, and they blow off limbs, and friggin' like, turn on skills and punch off arms. It's awesome. It's so good. There's legit a skill that just lets you rip somebody's arm off. Anyway, alright. Gotta get going for real though this time. Take care.